What would be your reaction if I told you that Jinu is not gone? He is alive, not spiritually or metaphorically, but he is physically there. Here is how he will return and how it will change everything in part 2. But before we get into it, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more deep story breakdowns. The moment everyone misunderstood in part 1. When Jinu stepped in front of Guima's flame, most people thought that it was a heroic sacrifice, and it was his tragic with roll credits. But that interpretation completely ignores one of the most important visual details in the entire movie. This is something that the story has intentionally lingered on. We saw when Jinu died, his soul did not vanish. It moved. His essence separated from his body, circled Rumi, and then merged into her. This was not some symbolic farewell or a portrayal of an emotional flare. This was world building. Souls do not drift around just for dramatic effects in the world of this movie. According to the logic of K-pop demon hunters, souls can transfer powers, form bonds, and more importantly, remain anchored in the same world. Now this single moment established two massive rules. First, Jinu's soul was never destroyed completely. Second, Rumi became the last living anchor who was connecting his existence in this world. And this alone is enough to suggest that his story was not finished. Why Jinu had no reason to stay dead. Here is the part that most people don't like to admit. Jinu did not sacrifice himself because he suddenly became a noble person, but he actually did it because he had something worth protecting for the first time in his entire existence. Jinu was broken, lost, and a violent person as a human. The voices in his head never stopped, and the guilt was always with him. And when Guima offered him silence, real silence from all the noise, it didn't matter to him what the cost was. And he just immediately took the deal. He became a demon not because he wanted to have power, but instead he became a demon because he wanted the escape from his miserable, guilt-filled human life. And when Jinu died, the real question was not whether he would wish to come back, but whether death was actually peaceful for him. If he considered death to be the well-desired silence, true silence, then coming back would feel like a punishment to him. And if death only meant awareness without escape, the voices remained in his head along with the guilt still following him everywhere. This means he was still trapped in reflection with no redemption. And then suddenly, for him, life becomes a lesser evil. That's the point where part 2 begins. The two people who would bring him back. One thing is clear, and we all know that Jinu cannot resurrect himself. His return to this world would require power, motive, and intent. There are only two characters who qualify for doing that. First is Rumi, who is the most obvious choice as she loved him without any conditions. She was the one who saw the human hidden beneath the demon shown to the world. And more importantly, she literally carries a part of his soul inside her own body. If anyone has the required emotional and spiritual connection necessary to pull him back to life, it would certainly be her. But here is a problem. Rumi is not selfish, who would bring him back just to ease her own pain. If she also believed that his death brought him peace, then she would definitely hesitate to resurrect him, and that hesitation matters. On the other hand, we have Guima, who used him. He watched everything happening, and he also saw the bond between Rumi and Jinu. He watched the heroic sacrifice, and he understands leverage better than everyone else in the movie. For Guima, reviving Jinu would not be kindness. It would actually be a strategy because he knows that a resurrected Jinu would not return as a fighter. He would return as an emotional weapon that could be easily used to target Rumi. He would hesitate even for a second to do that, pulling him back and using him again. And that is the reason why Guima is the one who will bring him back. Life on probation, the ultimatum. Jinu will not just wake up back to life, but he will be offered a deal. This deal would not be from Guima. It would be from death itself. He will be allowed to return to this world, but under one condition. If he successfully proves that he has changed himself, it would be like a one-strike system with one irreversible mistake. You do good, you live, and if you do evil, you disappear forever. There would be no appeals or loopholes in this system. The cruel twist here is that Jinu would naturally think that Rumi is the one who resurrected him, because she was the one who loves him. He would not know who was responsible for bringing him back, and this misunderstanding would be the reason for him to accept all the terms to take the deal. If he were to know, by any chance, that Guima is involved in this, then he never would have chosen to return to be used again. Why Jinu is no longer a demon. Now, this is the point where the rules of this universe would flip everything. Jinu's demonic status came from a contract, which was a deal that he made while he was a human. But all the contracts require continuity of life, and death voids every agreement. Even in real-world legal theory, death dissolves obligation. And in this universe of demon hunters, it works the same way. We saw that Jinu died, and this means the deal also died with him. So when he would return, he would become something else completely. He would not be a demon or a full human, but he would be free from the original claim of Guima. But the irony here would be that Jinu will not be aware of that, and Guima knows how to exploit that ignorance perfectly. Manipulation instead of control. When Jinu returns, Guima will have no control over him through the demonic authority, because the contract is voided due to Jinu's death. So Guima would switch to tactics against him and would manipulate him. He would push him into a morally gray action. It would be something that technically helps Guima, but also does not feel evil at the same time. Jinu would comply with this while thinking that he is still bound to him because of the contract. This single action would be enough to turn Jinu's probation meter red, and now Guima would have gained leverage. Because if Rumi finds out that Jinu came back only to hurt others, even when he did so unintentionally and unknowingly, this fact would destroy Rumi, and Guima knows this fear would be much stronger than any chains. Before we move to the reunion of Rumi and Jinu, don't forget to subscribe for more anime breakdown videos. The uneasy reunion. The reunion between Jinu and Rumi would not be something that everyone would have expected. It would not be romantic and filled with love or happiness only. Rather, it would be a very uneasy reunion. We will see that Rumi is overwhelmed with joy after watching Jinu alive, complete, and whole. For a very brief moment, everything would feel right, but Mira would not be fooled by it. She would observe Jinu as a hawk, where she would closely analyze his every movement, every word, because she would still remember who Jinu was and on whose side he once stood. She would refuse to let history repeat itself. We will see Zoe being conflicted because she wants to trust him, as she almost considers him family, but doubts also linger around. And what about Jinu himself? He would be drowning in guilt while knowing that his presence is built entirely on a lie. The second command. Guima will further push him again with the second command. This time, the request will cross the line. Jinu would be aware of the fact that if he did it, he would be done forever. No redemption, no return, and no Rumi. For the first time, he would step up and choose differently. He will end up confessing everything to Rumi, to Mira, and to Zoe. He will tell them about the resurrection, the manipulation, and the lie. The aftermath of this will be chaotic because this confession will destroy all of them. They might not be able to comprehend it at first, and it is also highly possible that they don't forgive Jinu for all of this, as Rumi would feel betrayed, not by Jinu only, but by hope itself. Zoe would be angry and also hurt while being stuck in a dilemma of whether to hate him or to forgive him. Mira would have the most aggressive reaction, and she would want him to be gone, permanently. The unity that made this group so unstoppable would be gone, and Guima will feel it immediately. This would be like a critical chance for him to achieve victory over them. Why the demons start winning? The power of Huntresses has always come from the harmony among them, and when they are divided, their music weakens, their timings fracture, and their strength drops significantly. This will allow demons to slip through, and battles will be lost by Huntresses. Fans would immediately notice that something is wrong here, because the group that once felt invincible now seems fragile and vulnerable. And Guima would be the one smiling as all of this would unfold in front of him. Everybody wants a proper redemption arc for Jinu, and it will be given to the fans. Jinu will not fight back, he will not defend himself, and he will just step away. But he would not disappear completely. Instead, he will do something that no demon has ever done for them in this universe. He will put them first. He will find each girl individually, not with the intention to apologize or show his regret, but to remind them who they are when they are together. He will take the blame on himself fully, without any excuse or conditions, and slowly, something starts shifting. The song that saves everything. When they finally reunite, it will not be anger that will bring them back, but it will actually be music, a raw, emotional performance that will channel everything from betrayal, forgiveness, grief, to hope all at once. Their power will surge again, Demons will be obliterated, the seal will be restored, while Jinu's probation gets clear as he did good. Jinu would be expecting to leave, as he will be ready for exile. But they all will forgive him, not because he deserved it, but because he earned it through his deeds. He will become the glue that keeps them all together. It would be the proof that he has changed in reality. Jinu's return would be more about consequences, choice, and redemption, and less about resurrection. He will leave as the reason why everything is holding together, even though he would have come back as a broken, manipulated, and lost. If you enjoyed this in-depth analysis, then do subscribe for more mind-blowing theories.